If you need unlimited domination, clutch time, or anything else grinded, make sure you hit up Rose NBA on Twitter for quick, safe, and reliable grinding services. Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing y'all the updated best defensive settings as well as offensive settings in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM, or at least those settings that I personally believe right now are the best settings in the game. And they're the settings that I am currently using. Hopefully, this will help y'all improve a little bit, especially on the defensive end of the court, give you better spacing offensively, and things like that will just help you improve overall as a player in this game. Again, just hopefully help out your game just a little bit, because having quality settings really can provide that small little boost that can help take you from a good player to a great player, help you get maybe 5-10 points better per game, because those things can definitely make a big difference both offensively and defensively. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 8,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with the defensive settings. I don't have any settings plugged in right here. Defensively, this is where you can save your defensive settings, which, by the way, if you didn't know, you can. You just go into your lineup screen, come over to coaching, down to coach game plan. You can save your settings in here, whatever those may be. But starting off with on-ball pressure, this has not changed. I'm pretty sure I had this on tight last time, and I still have it on tight. On-ball pressure on tight, I think, is the perfect mix where you're not going to get shot over very much, but you're also not going to get blown by quite as much as you probably would be on smother. That being said, blow-bys this game are just really OD in general. I wouldn't blame you for even putting this on moderate to give yourself hopefully a little bit of an easier time cutting off the blow-by. And I think if you're going up against point guards with slower releases like Cade Cunningham and Dwayne Wade, you can put their individual on-ball pressure on moderate, and you can kind of change it to where you can put it individually on players who have slower jumpers and put their on-ball pressure on moderate instead of on tight. But in general, I put it on tight, and that's what I'm going to start with. Off-ball pressure was also on tight. I have now changed that to moderate just because back cuts are really good in this game, and I think moderate gives my players a little bit more opportunity to cut off the back cuts, bump those players off their spots, gives me a little bit more time as well to react and click on so that I can manually guard a back cut. Versus tight, I just think I get beat backdoor a little bit less when I have this on moderate, and that's the key, I think, for off-ball pressure, putting that on moderate, as well as the fact that the contest system in this game, in all honesty, for lack of better words, is just a bit broken right now. So I think putting this off-ball pressure on moderate still gives you the ability to recover back to basically every single shooter that's not Carmelo Anthony, Jason Tatum, maybe James Harden, Scottie Pippen. Like, there's a couple guys with elite releases, but outside of those few guys, most players' releases are really not fast enough to where putting this on moderate is going to impact you whatsoever. You're easily going to be able to recover and still get contests while hopefully cutting off that backdoor more often. On-ball screen, I don't remember if I had this on automatic or go over, but I've now changed this to go under. I just think with the way that rim running is, you'd rather go under on a screen this year, make a player beat you from three, especially since most guards and most players in general, their releases in this game just really aren't that fast. So I think having this screen on go under is the way to go. Same thing with the on-ball screen for the center. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the difference between these two are, completely honest. I've never really figured that out. But that being said, I put both of these on-ball screens on go under. Just want to make sure that my defenders are going under the screen and making players shoot over the top, hopefully being able to cut off the rim run a bit more. Then we come over to this hedge setting. I put it on no hedge. I used to run, I don't remember which hedge I ran last year. I think I may have ran hard hedge, or I don't actually remember what I ran last year, but I personally run no hedge right now just because I like the fact that the hedge defender, which is the guy who's guarding the pick and roll, like the center who's setting the pick and roll, is not going to over blitz himself out of the play. It gives me the ability to manually guard a pick and roll, and they'll play pretty low as well, which is going to make it a little bit harder for your opponent to beat you off the dribble and attack the rim. Gives you the ability to recover, to X switch, things like that. I will make a video, by the way, pretty soon on what X switching is as well, because it's a crucial defensive tactic that hopefully you can learn if you haven't already, because it is really, really useful to know. Same thing with the center, no hedge. It's the exact same thing. I put both of my hedges on no hedge just to make sure that my players are, when I'm not manually controlling them, are playing low against the pick and roll and not giving up the rim run or blitzing themselves out of the play and giving up an easy slip, things like that, and then allowing me to manually guard the pick and pop. Stay attached stays on yes. I don't even know if this is really a thing that you need to have put on. Last year, if you had this on automatic, the players would not guard their man for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but they would like randomly switch. Pick and roll defenders would randomly switch when you didn't call for the switch. It would switch the guy guarding the guard onto the big, and then the big would be switched onto the guard, and it was just unnecessary, and it didn't give you as much control over the defensive ability in the pick and roll, the pick and pop. So I feel like stay attached on yes is more effective to prevent that. I'm not even entirely sure if that's an issue this year, but if it is, that helps prevent it, I should say. Off ball screen, same thing. I'm going to put this on go under just like the other screens. Want to make players shoot. Don't give up the easy rim run. And then outside of that, the only other settings that I turn off are the help settings. I had these on no help last time. That's not going to change. I want to, again, be in complete control defensively, the decision making that I do, regardless of what the players are doing. I don't want my players helping down from the corner and giving up a wide open 3 on a driver. I want to be able to manually bait that corner or help myself and then rotate from a wing, things like that, giving myself the ability to have better defensive rotations and things like that. Same thing with the cutter help and the drive help. I just want to make sure that none of the help defenders put themselves in a bad position, because 2K's logic for the CPU just generally is not that great defensively. It'll make them do a lot of weird things that'll wind up giving up a lot more easier buckets than you need to give up if you don't have these settings already set. So that's all I do for defensive settings right now. And yeah, that is what I have to show for defensive settings. But I am going to briefly go into a domination game just real quickly, just to showcase the other settings that I do offensively. It's not a ton, and I don't even do all of these every single game. Really, the only other thing you have to do now that they fixed where you go to coach settings and turn adaptive coaching engine off. It used to be on offense and defense whenever you would play an online game. They finally fixed this. It's been an issue actually for years, and they finally fixed this to where it just stays off even when you load into an online game. So you don't have to mess with this anymore. It'll stay off automatically if you turn it off in the main menu, which I do recommend doing. And then offensive settings, I did this last time. I still do it. I go to Bucks 2018, put that in as the freelance. I think it's the best freelance in the game for playmaking. And then in terms of play calling, I don't ever run any of these plays except for maybe pass and screen away, because pass and screen away is an easy 5-out play. So you can throw pass and screen away here. And then with the Bucks playbook, I run ISO 5-out still. I think ISO 5-out is another great play that you can run to give yourself proper spacing. These two plays give you 2 different options for 5-out plays to improve your spacing as well. So I basically just run pick and roll, pick and pop, and then these 2 plays to space the floor properly and give myself the play, or to give myself the proper space that I feel like I need. And that really is it in terms of my settings. Defensive settings, again, I'll just show them real quickly in this. And as y'all can see, they did save from the coach gameplay and screen. It's tight, moderate, go under, no hedge, yes to stay attached, and then go under again. And then I have all of my help settings off. And then the offensive settings are literally just throwing on a freelance. Bucks 2018, in my opinion, is the best freelance in the game. And then having ISOs 5-out and pass and screen away available as plays. I don't actually know if you can put, I don't know if this is an issue that's still in the game. This is an issue last year where you couldn't put the same play in for starters and bench, and it looks like it is interesting, although they do have pass and screen away already saved. So I guess you can't really run ISO 5-out, the same ISO 5-out anyway, in your starters and your bench, which is actually really weird. I typically just put it in as a starter play, but that's weird. But regardless, it doesn't really matter too much. Just make sure you use pass and screen away and ISO 5-out for your 5-out spacing, and you'll be just fine. So hopefully this video did help y'all out, give y'all a good picture of the settings that I'm using currently in my team. And if it did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.